Welcome to our presentation of the Ironbark Ridge journey, nurturing personal growth through inspired learning. We wanted to talk to you, our community, about the process we're going through as a school over these next couple of terms. We're in a position where we are examining where to next as a school. And we've been through a 2018 to 2020 3-year plan, and we're finishing up some of the projects that we've implemented over the last 3 years, and looking forward at a 4-year planning cycle from 21 through to 24, and asking you as our community, where do you think we need to go to next as a school? Asking our staff and asking our students where to next. We want to make sure that we're not distracted by what's going on in other places. We want to do what's right for us here at Ironbark Ridge. So our timeline over the next 3 terms. We have a P&C meeting at the beginning of term 3 in week 4, where we'll present this information to the P&C, and a forum in week 7 of term 3, where again we'll highlight some information, talk to you as our community about some data and some analysis of that data about where we're up to as a school, so some information sharing. Going forward later in term 3, releasing some surveys to gather your information, your attitudes, your values as our community, so that we can begin to put together a vision for ourselves as a school over the next 4 years. P&C meeting in term 4, in week 4, again we'll probably be on Zoom for these things given the current pandemic that we're living through, but we'll update you if that changes. So further information in the P&C meeting week 4 of term 4, and feedback around the survey information that you've given us so far at that point. Later in term 4, more information, opinion gathering, and we'll start to have some idea of the situation our school is in and the possible directions we can be going in. Beginning of 21 in term 4, we'll present a strategic improvement plan, so with some options and rationale behind different options for things that can be our focus over the next 4 years. And late in term 1, we'll have a draft strategic improvement plan for our school, ready for publishing and ready for presentation to the school community. So where we are at the moment is in a situational analysis phase, trying to work out the current state of play for Ironbark Ridge. What data and evidence do we have indicating our current performance as a school? How do schools, Ironbark Ridge, measure up against frameworks and benchmarks for excellence? What does our community support and value in education? What are the challenges and the obstacles that are currently in our way? And during this process of determining our current state, we want to make sure that we are employing our successful learner habits. We want to make sure that we're collaborating with each other and with you as our community, with our students as well. We want to have the courage to be asking for feedback and hearing difficult responses about things that perhaps aren't working as well as they could be. Asking lots of questions and observing what's going on, making connections between different things given the complex nature of what we do as schools, developing people. We want to be strong and we want to be respectful through this process.
So over the last 3 years, we've been guided very much by the Department of Education's 2018 to 2020 strategic plan. And as a school, we strive to uphold the ideals of the larger public education system in which we operate. And through the main ideals that we've been striving to achieve, put down by the Department of Education, is that every student is known, valued and cared for, something which we pride ourselves on here at Ironbark Ridge, that every student, every teacher, every leader and every school improves every year, and that we want community confidence in public education and in our school to be high. As part of that, we've developed our own 3-year plan. So for our 2018 to 2020 strategic plan, and underneath that we had 3 strategic directions. You can see those 3 little bubbles, the blue, the red and the purple bubbles there, and they outlined our priorities in teaching, learning and leading. Part of that plan over the last 3 years, we have developed and overseen several initiatives and projects which are listed there on that screen. One of our main ones was around differentiated instruction. That was a project on its own initially, but it continues over the last 3 years to develop and continues to drive our teaching through everything we do in knowing our students well. This really led to a big focus on reading instruction, and through collaborative planning conferences, the focus on knowing our students through data and evidence and increasing the consistency between teachers and what's happening in classrooms was a major focus. We had major projects stemming out of reading and spelling, and it's become a larger focus on English, thanks to the P&C support, through their monetary support of purchasing bookshelves and Words Their Way sets. Obviously, we've got a major focus on successful learner habits, as Mr. Thompson has already mentioned, and that's ongoing and will be part of our bigger focus on developing the whole child. At Ironbark Ridge, we pride ourselves on knowing our students very well through a case management approach. And it's not just about the child's classroom teacher, but about a team of teachers knowing, valuing, and caring for all of our students. This graphic really highlights the value add, or the big picture of the kind of data that we're looking at here at Ironbark Ridge. This is what we call a value add. This is a system level data of reading and numeracy data from NAPLAN, specifically measuring the growth of students between years 3 and year 5 over the last few years. So this graph really tells a story of students at our school making growth and measuring our impact as a school. If we imagine that middle line, that horizontal line, is our average or delivering line. There we go. There's our delivering. You can see that in 2014, 15 and 16 we were really below the line, but each one of those vertical lines is a school in the New South Wales public education system. So as a school, in measuring our growth between years 3 and year 5 in reading and numeracy, we have been continuing to improve between 2014 and 2019. Now our job is nowhere near done. We're on a journey of improvement and a journey of growth. This journey between year 3 and year 5 is really indicative also of the stories that we are telling between years kindergarten and year 3, as well as years 5 to year 7. But we've certainly got room to improve, and we're on that journey now.
At Ironbark Ridge, we aim to be a school that works towards achieving excellence and continuous self-improvement. We do that by constantly assessing ourselves against measures outlined within a document called the School Excellence Framework. It's a statement about what is valued in public education. We want to know that we are reflective practitioners who constantly work to provide a first-class education that leads excellence in learning, teaching, and leading. Not only is it a clear description of quality practices, it also supports sharing a vision of what we value. It supports us to set goals and measure progress against these goals. We look for evidence, we plan, identify strengths and opportunities for improvement against the 14 elements in 3 stages of delivering, sustaining and growing, and excelling. If we look at this example within the domain of educational leadership under the theme of community engagement, I draw your attention to the notion that schools regularly solicit and address feedback on school performance from students, staff, parents, and the broader community. In schools, our focus is always the students. We want to know that we nurture, guide, and inspire and challenge students. We are constantly reflecting back as a school, and we will continue to engage the school community in this process.
So learning is a very complex process, the science of learning and the way the brain learns. We know so little about it, and we do know that so many factors influence on a child's ability to learn different processes, be it reading or be it speaking and listening and moving around. And that's before a teacher even has to deal with 30 different children in their classroom. So teaching is a very, very complex profession, and so many factors can have influence that we need to be making sure we're looking at the evidence and the data that is supporting our decisions as a school. And there's also some bigger thoughts to ponder rather than just the narrow academic pursuits. There's so much more to school and so much more to creating a successful person. What character traits does a student need to be successful at high school in life? What does ready mean? Where does well-being fit into the question, and resilience? What skills and capabilities do we want our children to develop across their kindergarten through Year 6 journey? What's the research telling us about what is important in schooling? So at Ironbark Ridge, we've been trying to create confident, successful, inspired learners over the 2018 to 2020 3-year cycle. And that sort of an idea of holistic learning and more than just academics will continue to be a focus here at Ironbark Ridge. In the Ironbark Way, we want to create a school that grows young people who are optimistic, resilient, have strong moral and ethical values, are hopeful, have purpose and meaning in their life, have tolerance and maybe even more, value the differences that they see around them, are courageous, self-aware, disciplined, and of course our students are strong, respectful and excellent. And that means so much more to us than just success in academic pursuits. So come with us on this Ironbark Ridge journey over the next couple of terms as we determine future directions and future focus for our school, and be a part of the conversation. Thank you.